So it's no secret that the upcoming 2021 draft features quality talent from top to bottom. I mean, it's to the point where the playoff teams that usually get stuck with second rounders and just not that great picks might end up with a star. And I must say, the 1 and 2 guard positions especially is very deep this year. Like, some guards drafted later than expected would probably be lottery picks if only they were one class late or even one class early. And as y'all can see from this title, today I'm going to just point out my 5 biggest point guard sleepers or steals in this upcoming draft. It's pretty straightforward, and I'm not really one to really guarantee anything because doing that can really age poorly, but I'm pretty optimistic at least one of these guys will surprise the franchise that picks them up in the long run. I'll at least go 1 for 5. But yeah, if y'all enjoy this, comment below because I might do one for every position and we're gonna get into this list. But real quick before I move on, what's up YouTube? Plug Speaks back with a vid. If you are new, first of all, welcome. Go ahead and sub. Also like the vid if you enjoy. I drop bangers 3 to 4 times a week and we are currently grinding for 5K, so I'd for sure appreciate it. But back to the vid though. Now, quick disclaimer, this will go from players that will probably be picked early but are still sort of steals to players that will definitely be picked late and will most likely be steals. But yeah, with that being said, the first guy on this list is Trey Mann out of Florida. And Trey is a player that most experts are predicting to go in the 15 to 25 range, which is pretty much the mid first round. But given everything I'm about to go over, he shouldn't touch anything lower than 20 as far as picks, because Trey Mann has quality size for a point guard at 6'5", and he maintains all the skills needed for his position. He can shoot the ball really well, his handle isn't insane but it's tight enough, he doesn't average a large amount of assists, but he can still playmake with the best in the draft, and then his scoring ability is again up there with the best in this draft. Now overall for the season, he averaged 16 points, nearly 6 rebounds, and 4 assists on a very efficient 46% from the field and 40% from 3. Mind you, some of his threes extend far past the regular range. This man pulls up from deep. He actually had the nickname of Baby Curry back in high school. Y'all, I can't make this up. And that says enough about his perimeter shooting. And yeah, overall, he's just a quality point guard that could definitely surprise people if given the opportunity and if he keeps his confidence, which I don't doubt, because during March Madness when the lights were the brightest, he went crazy. But yeah, now this next player is another guy that scouts have in that 15 to 25 range, so mid first round. He's also one of the most popular players in the draft, at least through high school and college, and his name is Sharif Cooper out of Auburn. And I'm pretty optimistic about Sharife, because ESPN actually projected him in the top 10 of the lottery at one point in the season after he had played just a few games. And of course at this point it's dropped off just a little bit, but there is a lot of reason to be hyped still. See, many people view him as the smartest player and the best playmaker in the entire draft, including me. He's also drawn heavy comparisons to CP3 and Rajon Rondo simply because he's that great of a floor general. He even has a personal relationship with CP3, if that counts for anything. Now overall for the season, he averaged 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 8 assists. And let me just say, 8 assists in college is pretty impressive. Like, imagine when he's surrounded by actual NBA talent, actual NBA players. That number will definitely rise. But now as far as his efficiency, he shot 39% from the field and 23% from 3. So clearly he's not an efficient scorer, and that is concerning. But that's something you can fix. And for a 6-foot point guard, he really does all he can offensively and defensively while showing leadership. So yeah, it'll definitely take some time, but he'll probably surprise a lot of people, and a lot of people are rooting for him. But yeah, now the third player on this list is DJ Steward from Duke. And DJ's most definitely one of the most underrated guys in the draft, because even though I don't see him as any more than a quality NBA bench piece, many scouts either have him in the very late second round or not getting drafted at all, which doesn't make sense to me based on what he can do. See, DJ's game has a nice mix of athleticism and finesse. I almost want to compare him to De'Aaron Fox, but I won't reach that far since he's not a lottery talent. but certain things like his nice finishing and touch around the basket, his speed and ability to playmake caused me to really believe he could perform well in the NBA. Not to mention, Duke doesn't let just anyone come in there as a freshman and play starting point guard. That role is usually, or honor is usually reserved to, the one and done talents, and DJ Steward is one of those guys. Also, must I list Duke's track record of developing NBA talent? They're just not a program that produces many busts. And even from the player's perspective, no one wants to be that guy that sort of stains Coach K's reputation by turning out to be a bust. You want to ball out. But yeah, now overall for the season, he averaged 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists on 42% from the field, 34% from 3. Which I feel is pretty good production, especially when you're sharing the ball with 2 other guys that will also be drafted in Matthew Hurt and Jalen Johnson. So yeah, DJ Steward is nice. Now the next player we got is Max Abmas out of Oral Roberts. And I recently covered him in my star or bust video, so I might repeat some things, but this man's come up story is up there with some of the best in the draft. Because despite being one of the top scorers in D1 basketball pretty much all year, it took several March Madness upsets for him to actually be mentioned in any real NBA draft conversations. And that was one of the many people sleeping on him, but now I'm definitely awake, and he for sure deserves to get drafted. Now for the season, he averaged nearly 25 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists on very high quality shooting. And then in the tournament against much better competition, he averaged even more points on a little worse efficiency. So yeah, this guy is legit. However, as great as his season was, and it was a movie, he's definitely destined for the mid or late second round. And I say that because a score first point guard that's only 6 foot isn't really something that excites NBA GMs and scouts. Not in this modern game where we have 6'8" guys like LaMelo, Cade Cunningham, bringing the ball up the floor as your primary playmaker. Like seriously, today's versatility is insane. NBA GMs are spoiled. But that doesn't mean there's no hope, because man, if Max Abmas' ability to score explosively translates to the NBA and he remains healthy, at worst he could be like Lou Williams, a very valuable 6-man, and then at best he could be like him, but his production on offense and average passing is really similar. So yeah, Max Abmas could definitely have a bright future. But anyways, now for the last point guard on this list, we got Daison Nyx out of G League Ignite. And this guy shares the fate of going late second round if drafted at all like everyone else, but he's also completely different from the others in a good way, simply because he spent the season playing alongside Jalen Green, Kuminga, and others against grown men in the NBA G League fresh out of high school. So in theory, he should be better suited for the NBA game and NBA style of play more so than anyone else on the list. And now his stats are far from amazing, but he was like the 3rd or 4th scoring option on his team, even that's being generous. So it's super unfair to judge him on production, and hopefully GMs don't look too deep into his production, cause as an overall prospect, he's solid. I mean, pro body, good height for his position at 6'5", his shot selection is pretty mature, he actually plays defense more so than point guards usually do, and yeah. I mean, my reasoning behind Daison being a steal is much shorter than the others, but to be fair, the fact that he played in a league mentored by NBA vets against grown men is low-key all I needed to say. But yeah man, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know what you guys think of this list. Comment some guys you would even add to it. And yeah, I appreciate y'all watching as always. Like the sub, share it, sub if new, all of that. Let me know if you want a part 2 with a different position, and I'm out.